You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. We're also live on BBC Sounds, as is every game throughout this World Cup tournament. And these are the two teams for this opening game in Group E. Neuer is in goal for Germany. It'll be a back four of Süle, Rudiger, Schlotterbeck and Raum, Kimmich and Gundogan in the midfield, with Gnabry, Müller and Musiala behind Havertz. For Japan, and in fact 13 of the 22 starting players here actually play their football in Germany. 8 for the Mannschaft, 5 for Japan. Gonda is in goal. Sakai, Yoshida, Itakura and Nagatomo is the defence. Endo, Kamada, Tanaka the midfield, with Kubo to the left, Ito, Junior Ito that is, to the right, and Celtic's Dyson Maeda up front. But Tanaka, Kamada, Endo, Itakura and Yoshida, the former Southampton players, are the 5 who ply their trade in Germany. And certainly Daichi Kamada, who I saw last season in the Europa League final for Eintracht Frankfurt, is somebody who the Germans might just have to keep an eye on, Chris Sutton.
Yeah, and he's a player that the German players will know very, very well, to be very familiar with. He's had an outstanding start to his season in the Bundesliga, but they've got a lot of good technicians, this Japanese team, and I think the Germans are in for a real game. They got knocked out in 2018 in the group stage, finish bottom of the group, but they can have a big test this afternoon.
Germany in their white shirts with the broad black stripe going down the middle, and their black shorts, whereas for Japan they're in the samurai blue and their white shorts. And our referee is from El Salvador, Ivan Barton, who is being supported with Mauro Vigliano, who's the Argentinian VAR. And in the Japanese support, where there is a huge banner supporting the name of Gonda, the goalkeeper, there is a drummer who is creating a real din away towards our right hand side. And in fact, Suichi Gonda recognises that little fan club of his. He puts his hands together and he bows with an acknowledgement of appreciation.
Yeah, and what do the other banners say?
That Chris Sutton can be annoying at times.
You can't read Japanese?
I've just read it. So Chris Sutton is with us here for what is the second of our 4 commentaries. We've got Spain and Costa Rica, the other game in Group E to come. 4 o'clock to be followed tonight with Belgium against Canada in Group F. But Germany, who were humiliated in Russia 4 years ago, look for redemption. 4 times winners of this tournament. They are playing from left to right against Japan, who will certainly make for a difficult group. There will be no easy ride for Japan, or indeed Spain, in Group E. Rudiger at the heart of that German defence, recovering from a hip problem. Müller shaking off a groin injury, but there's no Sane, who's been ruled out with a knee injury, as it's a very slow start from Germany back towards Neuer, all in yellow, away towards our left-hand side. And I mentioned that drum. That might well be a backdrop to our commentary throughout, as their arms are waving in that small block of blue away towards our right-hand side. Schlotterbeck lifts it forward for Germany. Müller up against Yuto Nagatomo, the left back with his dyed red hair, and that bouncing ball will have to be headed away by Neuer outside of his goal. But for Nagatomo, certainly a proud moment. He's now 36 years of age, but he's the first Japanese player to appear in 4 World Cup finals, and ever present in the previous 3. As here is Gnabry to the edge of the area, cleared away by the Japanese defence. He just picked up that ball, quite a central area. Are you expecting that front four of Germany to rotate a little bit, Chris?
Yeah, they'll be very fluid. And they've started off with Havertz as the central striker.
Oh, that wasn't dealt with at all. Across from the left-hand side, Müller with his back to goal played it a long way back to Rudiger. Now to the burly figure of Sula, the right back. Gnabry on the inside and cleared away and swept to safety from I think it was Yoshida who got his foot through that. 34 years of age, the captain. Nearly 200 appearances in 8 seasons at Southampton. Had a time at Sampdoria, but now one of the players playing in Germany for Schalke. As Germany seeing a lot of the ball with Schlotterbeck now, and then Kimmich playing in the midfield comes over and takes over.
Yeah, the Germans have set up as a 4-2-3-1. Kimmich and Gundogan in those deeper lying roles. We'll see Ram on that left-hand side, the left back. Better going forward, I think it's fair to say, than defensively, but up top, Havertz is the central striker. Müller just in behind him with Musiala off that left-hand side and Gnabry off the right-hand side.
Well, Chris, you were in Kazan, weren't you, when South Korea pulled off that upset to knock Germany out of the group stages the last World Cup by 2-0. And indeed, you watched Japan give Belgium a real scare as well. Was it in the last 16?
Yeah, they were 2 up, weren't they?
As Maeda tries to get round the back of Rudiger. That was a good old foot chase there for the Celtic forward against the former Chelsea defender Rudiger.
Yeah, that's his strength, Dazen Maeda. His pace, he'll make those runs in behind. His hold-up play isn't the cleanest, but Japan have got some really talented players in the middle of the park who will look to get on the half turn and slide balls into Dazen Maeda, who will make those runs.
There was the customary team photo ahead of the game, and while Germany posed for their team photo, they put their hands over their mouths as across from the right hand side from Junya Ito gets a corner kick, but every single one of the German players put their hands over their mouths for the team photo. And we say that the German FA, we're being supported by Denmark, are looking at possible legal action. Certainly earlier in the week, Germany, the federation, said that all of the associations, in the words of the German FA, came under extreme blackmail to drop the One Love armband. So that's going to rumble on. Corner kick to Japan, far side the right, outswinger, headed away by Gnabry, and out of play it goes for a throw. 5 minutes in, BBC Radio 5 Live. BBC Sounds as well, not just for the live commentary, but also for the World Cup Daily Podcast, and indeed, Match of the Day's Top 10. Episode 10 is actually out now, but Episode 5, if you wish to rewind, that's going to cause great debates in light of Saudi Arabia's victory against Argentina yesterday, because Gary Lineker and co were discussing the biggest World Cup upsets: Cameroon, Argentina, Senegal, France, the United States against England in 1950.
That would be mine. I wasn't born then, but
neither was I. I think Mark Chapman was the age of 2 then. But certainly Argentina against Saudi Arabia will be added to that list. But if you want to find Episode 5, then BBC Sounds. There is so much World Cup material at your leisure. And of course, BBC Sounds, you can listen to the commentary and then just scroll through the website as well as listen. But 6 minutes played here so far, 0-0, and it's been a slow start, Chris Sutton.
Yes, it has. Tentative from Germany. Japan just easing the way into this game. They've set up with a back four, and then Wataru Endo just sitting in front of that back four. He'll be the enforcer in there, getting the screens on and stopping those balls into the likes of Havertz up top for Germany.
He was a doubt coming into the game, Wataru Endo, defensive midfielder for Stuttgart. He's certainly a player who they were able to get off. There was another doubt over Matoma of Brighton and Hove Albion. Endo recovered from concussion, but Matoma had a little bit of illness. He is on the bench, the Brighton player, who's certainly impressed in the early stages of his career at the Amex. As for Arsenal's Tomiyasu, rested against Canada last week with a calf problem, not fit enough to start. Nagatomo clears away for Japan. He hoists that high, and it drops towards Kimmich to Gundogan. Central area of the Japan half, dispossessed though there by Kamada, who now runs forward. He's got Ito away to his right hand side. Here is Ito, plays it in. Maeda flags it on the far side, and the Japan celebrations are cut short very, very quickly from that flag that was raised on the right. It was an excellent break by Japan. Of course it will go to VAR.
He was offside. It wasn't a great run from Maeda, of course, because he was offside, but there's a warning for Germany. Kamada stealing the ball off Gundogan and just popping the ball out right to
well offside
Ito, but there's no reason for him to be offside in that position. He just gets beyond Rudiger as the cross comes in. It's a brilliant cross, but Maeda's looking across the line there, needed to time his run better. It's a good finish from him, but that's a warning to this German team. This is the way Japan are going to try and do it this afternoon. They'll be difficult to play through. They'll sit a little bit deep at times, and then they'll look to counter at pace.
Well, we said before, didn't we, when we were talking about the game and the build-up with Mark Chapman, that this German defence, you can get at it, and that was a prime example. It was Gundogan dispossessed in the midfield. Kamada carried the ball forward, out towards the right, and as Chris Sutton says, if Dyson Maeda just times that run better, he would have had a real opportunity for the goal. And he put it away well, but he was a good yard offside.
And he's behind Rudiger. The ball's on the right-hand side. Rudiger, the right centre half, he's behind him and should look across the line and time his run much, much better. But the issue Germany have is because Ram, the left back, gets placed so high up the pitch, there's a huge space on that right-hand channel for Japan.
Gundogan chips the ball out towards that far side. Ito was back to challenge Raum in the air. Out of play it goes for a Germany throw. It's interesting, when that drum stops beating, and we said about feast or famine with the atmospheres, bearing in mind that there doesn't appear to be too many empty seats in a ground that holds over 45,000 people. Very, very quiet, as has just been proven there when that drum stops. For the stadium, with the exception of the top tier over on the far side that is still bathed in the late afternoon sunshine, felt very, very hot today in Doha, around 28 degrees, but certainly inside the stadium very, very cool.
Yeah.
The air conditioning working extremely well. They cool the pitch, certainly around 21 degrees, and it certainly will never go above 27 inside the stadium, so that will never be a problem in any of the 8 stadiums that are being used. This, of course, was the one that existed before Qatar won the rights to host the World Cup. I remember coming here with England against Brazil in a friendly in 2009, although it has had a little bit of redevelopment work since then. But it's 0-0. You're listening to 5 Live, also available on BBC Sounds, as the ball is picked up in the midfield for Musiala in a central area. And because he comes central, it creates a little bit of space for Raum, the left back, to venture forward. And he's quite high over on that far side, the Germany left.
He's playing like a left winger, isn't he? Not playing like a left back so high up, but that's the space the Germans leave on the counter. Schlotterbeck just stepping in there.
Blonde-haired defender into Raum. Gundogan waits for the run of Raum ahead of him, hangs on to the ball, now finds the left back. The challenge is quick to come in on that far side, and Japan deal with it well. It was Tanaka who was helping out on that far side. Ito's forward ball, Kamada was going forward, just stepping out of defence was Rudiger to beat the Japanese midfielder to the ball, and it's back with Schlotterbeck once again, and we've been playing for 11 minutes.
Yeah, all the good play from Japan has come down that right hand side, but looking forward to seeing Takefusa Kubo, really young talented player, plays his football in Spain.
Musiala gets round the back on that far side, the left. Ball is dug out and cleared. Out of play it goes for a throw. That was Endo who was back there helping out Musiala, who really is a terrific talent, been in excellent form for Bayern. 12 goals he scored in his 22 games for Bayern. And you look at the front six of this Germany side, 4 of them actually play for Bayern, so there's a real influence in this German side. One of them was Kimmich, challenged up to the edge of the area, ball played away on the edge of the area by Itakura, Yoshida's fellow central defender. Schlotterbeck forward, Kimmich central area, back out to Schlotterbeck. Raum holding his line, trying to playing him in, but that was again cut out by Sakai, the right back, and then Ito hits it long. And as Chris has said, Maeda of Celtic is quite fast. He's hard running. But on that occasion he was an unwilling runner. It was too far over his shaven head and through towards Neuer.
What they are doing though, Japan, they're defending in numbers, but as soon as they win the ball back, it's Kamada who's looking to break as well, making those forward runs.
At times you feel as if you're in a footballing library, don't you here? So silent, waiting for something to happen as Musiala runs in off the back of his man, and now on that left hand side gets the ball back to Kimmich, able to turn. Kimmich shot, it was a good block.
Tanaka, wasn't it? Made the block. Kimmich just for a second looked like had a shooting opportunity 25 yards out. Hammered a shot with his right foot, but crucial block from Tanaka.
Rudiger onto the ball, right of the centre circle, goes out wide to Niklas Schüller, formerly of Bayern. Now we saw him in the Champions League for Borussia Dortmund. Is Joshua Kimmich now chips the ball out towards Raum, but easily headed away by Sakai. An unchallenged leap forward, but at the minute it's Germany who are picking up all those balls in the midfield. Chris Sutton.
Yes, it is, but I mean they're not hurting Japan at this moment in time. Everything is in front of the back four. Japan really well organised, as we expected, looking to pounce and counter. Interesting call, Sula at right back from Hansi Flick. He has played there predominantly for Dortmund this season, but doesn't look the most mobile, does he? Sometimes big guys like him don't, but Kehrer had the option of playing Kehrer, West Ham's Kehrer in that right back position. But I think we were told, weren't we, before the game, he's one of the 10th quickest players in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, slow to get going.
Yeah, a little bit like me.
You mentioned Kehrer. Kehrer actually played. I know you dismissed the warm-up game against Oman last week, but Kehrer did play as the right back in that game.
Well, and you think that was a huge advantage and for the Germans going into this tournament, playing a friendly against Oman, who were ranked 75th.
Not quite sure they were my words,
rankings.
But I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I'd like to play that back. I think we can go, if you go on BBC Sounds, I think we could play that back.
Very good. The management will be pleased with that one. That's an unusual trail for BBC Sounds.
Take the World Cup with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't forward wind, but you can rewind. Corner kick to Germany, 0-0.
This is where they have a distinct height advantage, don't they, the Germans?
15 minutes played, corner kick to Germany. The Japanese supporters with a beat of the drum. Our Salvadorian referee Ivan Barton was just having a word there with a couple of players. Schlotterbeck was one of them. I think he was up against Endo. So we're waiting for the corner kick to be delivered. In it comes now from the left, plenty of height on it. Rudiger's with a header, just drops wide. Must have been about 10 yards out, quite deep inside the penalty area, and it was dropping at what would have been the near post as we look, the right-hand post from our position here in the main stand in the Khalifa International Stadium, but it dropped wide. It'll be a goal kick, and it remains goalless.
I don't think it's a great header at all. It goes wide, but Rudiger should head that back, trying to head it into the far corner, not trying to beat the keeper at his near post, and then maybe the likes of Havertz or some of the other German players in the box could attack it and get a touch. You go back across the goalkeeper in that situation.
Soichi Gonda, the goalkeeper, all in green away towards our right-hand side, was looking to try and hit the ball out towards the right. He went central. Germany got it back, but now they've lost it, and it's with Endo, who plays it back to Yoshida, and he goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, who's got enough time to control it with a right-footed touch, and then strikes it right-footed and floats the ball out towards the far side for the royal blue of Japan, who are playing from right to left. But they've lost the ball again in the midfield, and there was a clear sign of frustration there from Daichi Kamada, the 26-year-old midfielder, as we're back now to a gentle walking pace as it remains 0-0 in these opening 17 minutes on BBC Radio 5 Live. Morocco 0, Croatia 0, yet another goalless draw in this World Cup. And you know when you sort of like you tempt fate, and you message one of the bosses and you go, don't worry, rest assured this one won't end goalless. And I said that with a degree of faith, because none of the last 50 World Cup matches involving Germany have ended goalless. The last goalless draw was actually 1986, a quarter-final against Mexico.
Oh, I was going to say that.
So I speak with a degree of confidence that we will have a goal in this game here in the Khalifa Stadium.
You have been wrong before, though.
I've been wrong many times before, Chris. As a free kick goes against Japan, and Moriyasu, the 54-year-old coach who was appointed in August 2018 for Japan, turned away in frustration. He's uttering a word towards the fourth official as Schlotterbeck comes forward now for Germany. Every outfield player is in the Japan half. It's Gundogan's ball towards Gnabry with the cut back on the volley. Yoshida first time clears it away. Bouncing ball is headed forward by Zula. Now towards Kimmich, but it was Havertz with the challenge, and that was on Takefusa Kubo, and it'll be a free kick to Japan. And it's been a very quiet opening 19 minutes, 0-0.
Very cagey. I think Japan will be happy the way things are going. Just had to be watchful in that situation. Gnabry will see him more than any of the other German forwards make those runs in behind the Japanese back line there, just getting the run on Nagatomo. The pass from Gundogan, but Yoshida, right place at the right time to make the clearance.
The familiar voice of Chris Sutton with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Musiala far side the left. Schlotterbeck goes back to Rudiger. And now it's with Müller. A little touch from Thomas Müller. Gundogan just outside the centre circle of his own half. And Sula's diagonal ball to Kimmich. Couple of touches to Gundogan. Now to Musiala. Again drifting into a central area. Raum, little flick back towards Musiala. Excellent challenge coming in, and then the shot from Kimmich, beaten out by the goalkeeper, and then the rebound comes out.
Penalty. Has he? No, offside.
Offside. Flag was up on the near side.
I think he did point to the spot for a push, didn't he? Initially, the referee, when the shot came in,
it was Kimmich who fouled the shot. It was a very good save, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good save.
Broke to him quickly.
Clever little flick initially from Gundogan, but he's offside, and then he's shoved when he gets the shot in. Gundogan shoved from behind, but all irrelevant because he was offside. Have a look. It's a decent hit from Kimmich, puts his laces through the ball.
He reacted well, Soichi Gonda, away towards his right hand side, because it broke very, very quickly to Joshua Kimmich, who last scored against Italy in June, and he only had one thing on his mind. It was a powerful drive, but then as the ball came back, there was an offside. Now ball inside from, it was Kubo who popped up on the right hand side, and they've got another corner kick here, Japan, as a result. Still 0-0, 21 minutes played, 5 live.
Yeah, it was really good pressing from Kubo and sloppy from Schlotterbeck, and Kubo gets away from down that right hand side, and Maeda had the run on Zula in the middle, and unfortunately for Japan, Kubo hit Rudiger and the ball goes behind for a corner to Japan. Just needed more care on the cross there, Kubo. The Japanese Messi, he's known as.
Well, let's see if he can conjure up something like Messi. As cross comes in, and it was aimed towards Itakura. Does play in his football in Spain, but not at Barcelona. Real Sociedad.
Should have been a corner, that, I think. Germans awarded with a goal kick. Yeah, it came off the German defender there, didn't it? Went behind, Raum, off Raum, the back of Raum.
2 more games to come for you as the matches continue to come thick and fast on 5 Live throughout this World Cup, where every match on 5 Live and BBC Sounds is live. Spain, Costa Rica from 4. Vicky Sparks and Rob Green, John Murray and Dion Dublin at 7 will watch Belgium against Canada. But this is the opening game in Group E, and the winners of this will take on those in Group F, where already Morocco 0, Croatia 0 in the last 16. As the ball, Musiala again staying central. Kimmich out towards Gnabry, high off the chest, right hand side, midway through the Japan half. Sula joins the attack. Japan, though, defending in numbers and defending well. Haven't really had much joy so far, Germany, have they? Certainly not on this right side.
Haven't really opened the Japanese back line up at all. You had the effort from Kimmich from 25 yards, decent save from Gonda. That's been about it. They are getting more joy on the left hand side, more or less a back 3 when they're in possession now. Raum so high up on that left hand side, just trying the quickness of passing. It's maybe what they've been lacking, the Germans, through the middle of the park.
Here is Schlotterbeck. Gave away both penalties when England played Germany in the Nations League in Munich and at Wembley. Gundogan, little ball threaded through. Musiala, darting run. Nice little ball inside towards Müller. Müller returned it, but Japan repelled the attack. However, Raum forward, inside, Havertz down towards the byline, looking for the cutback into the penalty area. It goes. Itakura, missed by Sakai, the right back, with his attempted clearance from Itakura's header in his direction, and Germany get a throw over on that far side in what is a very expansive stadium, this, the Khalifa International Stadium. And it is going to be a throw to Germany, but not much urgency. And in fact, I just wonder if the referees told them they can't take the throw because they're looking for something through VAR, because there is a definite pause in play. Hard to see what any infringement would have been.
Possible penalty.
A possible penalty check. So here comes the Argentinian Mauro Vigliano, and it was for Endo sliding in on Havertz, but plays back underway, and it was a relatively, by VAR standards, a quick check. Decision, no penalty. The fact that play is resumed, I think we were able to work that one out. 25 minutes played.
I hadn't worked that one out.
Here is Schlotterbeck. By the way, we talked before about the Germany team photo, and that every player had put their hands over their mouths. Germany's, on their social media feed, have said, we wanted to use our captain's armband to take a stand for values that we hold in the Germany national team: diversity and mutual respect. Together with other nations, we wanted our voice to be heard. As just break off, because Kimmich on the edge of the area plays the ball out towards Gnabry. Gnabry with the cross over the head of Havertz. Raum tees it up. Gundogan shot, charged down. Kimmich heads it into the penalty area, and Itakura clears the ball away, and it remains 0-0. And I'll continue to read the rest of that statement, and it continues. It wasn't about making a political statement. Human rights are non-negotiable. That should be taken for granted, but it still isn't the case. That's why this message is so important to us. Denying us the armband is the same as denying us a voice. We stand by our position. Armband or no armband, we stand by our position, was the caption underneath that team photo. And just to reiterate, they are looking at legal action against FIFA. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's 0-0. Back to the action. Musiala in the penalty area. Raum in support. Sakai with a clearance, the right back. They're getting a lot of joy down that left.
They are getting a lot of joy, but you've got to credit the Japanese back line and the midfield. They're working so hard and they are so disciplined, tracking the German runners. There's always a runner going in behind from the German forward areas.
Here is Gundogan. Gundogan, an extremely silent stadium to Sula. His forward ball. First time layoff by Havertz. Müller was under pressure. Ball went back to the edge of the centre circle, but Rudiger was there. Germany still in possession. Gnabry with a little dummy, runs through towards Müller on the right hand side. He now cuts it back to Gnabry in towards Gundogan's first time shot, and Gonda with a save.
Yeah, it's a really clever piece of play from Gnabry initially. Let the ball run between his legs, and Müller, who was beyond him, cuts the ball back inside, and then one touch, two touches to Gundogan. He's 25 yards out. He tries to whip the ball in, beat Gonda at his near post, but it's quite a tame effort. It's a long way out, 25 yards out, and Gonda gathers.
Schlotterbeck with the throw on the far side. Rudiger, you're quite pleased with that one, aren't you? Here is Gundogan to Rudiger.
Aren't they strange, these hushes which happen every?
It's quite eerie, I've got to say. Gnabry. Gundogan, man over, is Raum, plays the ball into him. Raum goes, fires it in towards the near post, comes out towards Gundogan, that's blocked, cleared away by Endo inside the penalty area. They're just starting to knock on the door of Germany. Raum with another cross, headed out this time by Itakura, and out for a throw. But again, how much space did Raum have as it was played into him on that left-hand side?
Do you know what, I think it's a really poor pass out to Raum. I think Gundogan could have taken the pace off it a little bit, but Raum fires across in left-footed, and Gonda out smartly diving, pushes the ball away, and then Japanese clear the ball eventually.
And now they are on the attack with Kubo on this left-hand side, but he's just simply wrestled away by Rudiger, and then Kubo fouls Rudiger. But that was just like, thou shalt not pass from Rudiger. I mean,
it was like a doorman lifting someone out of a nightclub, wasn't it? You've probably been in that position a few times.
Well, I would imagine that Rudiger would have, bearing in mind the physical mismatch between he and Kubo, that would be quite easy. I think he wouldn't have lifted me off the ground as easily. Although I have lost nearly a stone in weight. Half an hour played. Here is Sula. He definitely wouldn't have lifted Sula off the ground.
Cool.
Sula is that burly, he could indeed be a doorman on a nightclub with his broad shoulders. But at a walking pace we go once again for Germany in possession, slowly, patiently building from the back. 15 minutes to go to half time.
You can see there, they are a back three when they're in possession. Gnabry staying wide on that right hand touchline, Raum really wide on the left.
Here is Kimmich to Raum. Raum completely unmarked, enters the penalty area. Was he fouled by the goalkeeper? The referee says yes, and a penalty. Raum took it away from Gonda. Gonda clipped him, and the Salvadorian referee gives a penalty to Germany.
Well, he gave the penalty, the referee, and then he looked like he was a little bit unsure, but I thought Gonda, he looked guilty, didn't he? That left-hand side, it's a brilliant ball clipped in, good run from Raum. They haven't dealt with him. And they're checking it. There has to be sufficient contact for a player to go down. Yeah, I think he catches him, doesn't he? Gonda, he's saying he didn't, but looks like there was enough contact.
That must be the third at least the third time that Raum has been in a position like that with so much space around him.
Well, I think at Sakai, he's playing so narrow as a right back. Musiala takes him on the inside, and then it's really important that Ito stays disciplined. He switched off, and Raum had a lot of joy down that left hand side, made the run, took a decent first touch, drew the goalkeeper Gonda, and now big chance for the Germans. They don't miss penalties.
İlkay Gündoğan certainly doesn't. He's yet to miss for Germany. Well, that was a delayed reaction from the crowd when it came up with a penalty for VAR on the big screens. Gündoğan against Gonda. Gündoğan runs up now and scores, sends Gonda the wrong way, and Germany have their opening goal at the 2022 World Cup, and it's 7 out of 7 for İlkay Gündoğan from the spot, and Germany lead 1-0.
Yep, I think we all expected that outcome. Cool as you like, Gündoğan shapes to go to Gonda's left, whips it across him to his right hand side. Gonda goes left. Confident penalty. The Germans getting the joy down that left hand side. Doesn't go right in the corner, pretty centrally, but Gonda's gone. 1-0 to the Germans.
He was unable to gather it in, and as he dived away, it left a gaping hole from Gonda for Gündoğan with the goal. And it's 1-0 to Germany. I can't get my head around the atmosphere. It's like we were ready for the penalty to be taken, and everybody was obsessed with the giant screen, and when it said VAR goal given, then they were cheering that decision rather than realising
the ball was
on the spot.
On the penalty spot. That was really strange. You should get the idea if you watch football regularly that when somebody puts the ball on the penalty spot, it means penalty.
So Germany lead by a goal to 0. 5 Live and BBC Sounds here. 11 minutes to go to half time, and Japan, who we haven't really seen much as a great deal of ambition so far from a Japan team that was certainly free scoring in qualifying, a record 58 goals. They won 15 of their 18 games. They've been passive.
Yes, they have been, but they've set up the counter-attack, and that's all very well, isn't it, at 0-0. I'm not so sure things will change too much at 1-0 at this stage, but they have been too passive.
Sakai on the overlap, good ground on that right hand side, but it was Raum who was back with him doing his defensive duties. He's hardly played as a left back throughout the whole game so far, but on that occasion he did take it away off the toes of the Japanese right back. And Japan, who haven't really done anything in open play, have now got a corner kick on that far side, the right, to take it, which Kamada is going to take. So this should be an outswinger if he takes it with his right foot on that far side, the right. Blue shirts, white shorts from right to left as we look, and we've got under 10 minutes to go to half time. Kamada, it is an outswinger, and it's headed out by a commanding Rudiger, and then Nagatomo with the back pass to Gonda, the goalkeeper. He plays it forward to Nagatomo, who is quickly being chased by 3 white shirts, so Japan have to quickly clear the ball, and now they win it through Sakai. Leaps into the air. The referee has played the advantage, and it's a good advantage too, because Japan now with Kubu scoops the ball in towards the penalty area, but Gündoğan was back there helping out, off his chest, and now it's up to Musiala. Musiala to Gnabry on the halfway line, on this near side, the right, out for a throw, and it will be a Germany throw. Christo.
Kubo should have made much more of that. Kamada, who made the initial challenge. I just wonder whether the referee's going to revisit the challenge on Kamada. It's a strong challenge, was it, from Schlotterbeck on him, but no card. But Kubo had the opportunity to whip the ball in earlier, took an extra touch, and then the Germans got defenders back in numbers. Have to make more of those opportunities.
Yes, they certainly do, because they've been Few and far between in this first half, and we've been playing for 37 minutes here in the Khalifa International Stadium, where Germany lead by 1-0 from this penalty spot taken by Manchester City's İlkay Gündoğan. But it's with Ito, far side the right, no impression whatsoever. Germany dealing with that threat, and Kimmich to Gündoğan. And once I can actually hear a fella shouting from the far side. It takes you back to when you used to commentate playing behind closed doors. If you've just tuned on or tuned 5 Live now or BBC Sounds, and you're thinking, how many's in this stadium? Not many empty seats. You wouldn't think 45,000. Gnabry shoots from distance. That was blocked. Ball played out. Now it's with Havertz, right corner of the area, to Thomas Müller. Müller sends over the cross, left-footed. Ito is back there helping out. Schlotterbeck, 25 yards out. Musiala with the shot, up in the air, punched down into the ground by Gonda. Comes out to Kimmich. Ball played into the penalty area low. Nobody seemed to want to have a go at goal there as Gonda was having to retreat to his goal line. But Germany look very, very comfortable.
Yeah, at this moment in time, Japan eventually will have to change their game plan. They're happy to defend in numbers and break out, but the Germans have that swagger, that arrogance. Now, I think the issue with the crowd, said to one of our producers last evening, it's a corporate crowd, isn't it? Prawn Sandwich Brigade.
Well, actually, there's probably more empty seats in the corporate boxes. Mind you, I'm not surprised with the eye-watering prices that you charged in there, but there doesn't appear to be too many in those burgundy seats in the middle tier. Some behind glass, some out in the open. I mean, there's a large chunk of royal blue on the far side, but the Japanese supporters are silent.
Yeah, well, they're losing. But it may be the lack of alcohol as well in the stadiums. People get louder after a drink, don't they, Ian?
I wouldn't know here in Qatar. 6 minutes into the second half. Well, they could. That Japanese travelling support needs to heed a lesson from the red wall, because when Wales support, when they were behind the other night against the United States, they never stopped singing. As Kubo is forward, but he won't keep that ball in play. Actually, he does with a cutback. No, it's a late flag. Didn't think he had. He's actually gone down with an injury as well. There isn't much where there's a switch from the turf to the artificial turf that can cause problems for players. You haven't
I mean, it's the same in in English stadiums, isn't it? There's a couple of yards of grass. Think of Old Trafford, they've got those little slopes, haven't they?
Yeah, the camber.
And you have players of great pace who are up to speed. It's hard to decelerate.
Germany 1, Japan 0. Gündoğan from the penalty spot. The German supporters away towards our left are trying to start off a Mexican way. There's an atmosphere breaking out. Here is Gnabry on this near side, the right.
There's not a wave breaking out. That was one of the smallest waves ever, wasn't it? Stopped.
Yeah. Well, maybe, what do you say, the corporate brigade aren't used to tossing their prawn sandwiches in the air. Here is Gündoğan. Gündoğan from distance, charged down and picked up. And it's eventually taking off. It started off as a ripple, and now all of a sudden it's sweeping around this vast stadium that holds 45,500 people here inside the Khalifa Stadium, where Germany lead by 1-0. And it's with Musiala, Raum again, marauding, back towards Musiala. He goes off to Müller, back towards Kimmich. He laid it off just inside the D. Kimmich outside the D, right-footed shot, always on the rise. And it will go out for a goal kick.
They're in total control, though. There's the wave again. It's going round now. It's going all the way round now, Ian, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm tempted to join in. Japan playing at such a sedate pace. It's actually had that feel to it throughout. There's got to be a little bit more intensity for Japan. Free kick has been given to Germany as it continues to go around the ground. Raum seen so much the ball with the cross aimed towards Müller in the area, picked up by Gonda.
I think that's the criticism of the manager Moriyasu, that he sets his team up quite negatively. If they want to get back into this game, they have to try and take the game to the Germans much more and go toe to toe. Maybe that will happen, but they won't want to concede a second.
Remember being in Moscow 4 years ago when Germany lost their opening game to Mexico. First time that they've lost an opening game since 1982. On the balance of what we've witnessed so far in these 43 minutes, there's no chance of Germany losing this one. They lead by a goal to nil. There's every chance that we'll have to hope that Mark Chapman set an alarm clock for him to resume presenting duties as Kimmich floats the ball forward. Musiala keeps the ball in play as he takes it out of the penalty area on the right hand side. The cross from Gnabry headed back by Raum. The Couture's headed away over to the edge of the area. Musiala plays it in towards Raum. That was risky from Ito, let it go across his body. He's actually conceded possession. He had a chance to clear it, but he's given it back to Germany with Raum, the left back, who's played really as a left winger throughout the first half. Such has been the dominance of Germany, all in white, playing in their white shirts and black shorts from left to right. Here is Gundogan. There's no jeopardy in the game. No jeopardy from Japan.
No, just trying to hang on in there, stay in the game. That's the game plan. But you have to be adaptable. Maybe that will come. But they are playing with such fear. So tentative. They're not giving the Germans anything to think about. And the Germans totally dominant.
Ball played out by Neuer to Schlotterbeck, who can pick up that ball about 25 yards out from his own goal. He's over the halfway line and he's now midway through the Japan half as he lays it off towards Gundogan. We hear German voices inside the Khalifa International Stadium. Germany lead by a goal to nil. Musiala, sharp turn, and the shot right footed on the rise, just on the edge of the area. Couldn't keep it down. Goal kick, 1-0 Germany, close to half-time.
Yeah, razor sharp from Musiala. Gets on the half-turn, dynamic, creates a half a yard of space. Should do better with the shot. Ball's fizzed in by Kimmich. Itakura, who comes out, tries to shut him down, but quick touch with it outside of his right foot away, and then he lifts the ball well over Gonda's bar.
4 minutes of added on time in the first half. As there's another stoppage, Sakai has gone down on the far side. I wouldn't have said 4 minutes.
What would you have said?
60 seconds. One stoppage with an injury. No substitutions. What is it that the FIFA are wanting?
Well, I don't mind this. I don't mind it. You know, the ball's out of play a lot, isn't it? See players time waste. You want your pie. That's what you're thinking about.
Argentina, Saudi Arabia, I think they played about 15 minutes of stoppage time in the second half. That's like having a game go to the first period of extra time. It's 1-0 to Germany. We're in stoppage time here in Qatar, BBC Radio 5 Live. And it's a throw to Japan on the halfway line.
They've shown such a lack of ambition. Maybe it will come in the second half.
Here is Havertz, again attacking on the left, Musiala, Raum on the overlap, Musiala goes it alone, enters the penalty area, pulls it back to Gnabry, Gnabry drifts to the left corner of the area, Raum's available to him, level with the penalty area, here he is, he goes inside, Musiala always sharp, square, pulled back, Sula joins the attack, the right back, thought about the dig, didn't. Weighs it out towards Müller, crosses around knee height, hard for Kimmich to control that ball inside the penalty area, and Japan will get it away, but he's going to keep coming back out of them. This is all about how much Germany, and bearing in mind when it comes to the criteria of the group, goal difference could be key, and this potentially could be a difficult group. You would think that Germany would want more goals than just the one that they've got so far.
Yep, that pretty much sums up Japan's first half performance. That Yoshida getting the ball, edge of his own box, nothing on, and just punting a ball into the channel. Eventually goes out of play. I mean, they may as well go home, Japan, if they're going to be this negative.
A sense of adventure surely awaits in the second half. Wales were poor in the first half against the US the other night, but they put in a much improved performance. The coach changed things, Rob Page, incidentally. Friday's when Wales and England are next back in action. 4 games a day. We've still got Spain, Costa Rica in this group to come at 4, followed by Belgium, Canada at 7, and then tomorrow Switzerland, Cameroon, Brazil, Serbia, that's at 7 o'clock. Many of the favourites for Brazil against Serbia, Uruguay, South Korea, Portugal, Ghana in Group H. Are you doing a game tomorrow?
I'm doing a game every day for the next 3 months, I think. Ian?
Germany, chance maybe in this stoppage time to increase their lead. Gnabry picks it up, runs into the space, he's got support. Musiala plays it out towards Müller. Müller to the byline, chips it towards the far post. Downward header comes towards it to Kura. Shot comes in, followed in, close range. Kai Havertz.
Wonder whether he's offside. Just wonder whether he's offside. I think the Germans deserve to go in at the break more than 1 up.
They're looking at the flag, but the flag has stayed down. Certainly VAR will have a look, as it was crossed from the left-hand side. It was a simple tap-in for Kai Havertz. He did have a little glance around, but Japan never dealt with the danger.
No, the ball stood up from Müller and has headed away. Kimmich with a left-footed shot. He is offside.
Won't count.
Yeah, it's Musiala. I don't know whether it's a shot or a cross, and Havertz centrally, just beyond. I think it's Yoshida. Yeah, it's a shot, I think, from the wide area.
As the shot came in initially from Kimmich, it was saved by the goalkeeper. Musiala then from the left-hand side, but the assistant referee never raised his flag at all, even late.
So what's going on here?
The VAR are having a look again.
I mean, all the players are set up to kick off again, aren't they, from the centre circle? Here we go. They're taking their time, aren't they?
Well, I was going to say, for a VAR check, that surely had to be one of the easiest ones. First glance that we saw it on the monitor, we were able to say that it was offside.
Well, you can hear the Japanese fans are happy with that. Maybe we'll see another wave around the stadium.
Well, certainly it's a let-off for Japan, because there'd have been no way back from 2-0 down the way they played in the first half. But Kai Havertz's goal in first half stoppage time ruled out for offside. Nagatomo with a cross from the left, and the header just wide. It was Maeda, 12 yards out, just tried to glance it by adjusting his upper body, and it ran wide by about a good 2 yards to the right hand post, far side. 1-0 Germany.
Yeah, Nagatomo just creating a little bit of space, chops inside on his right foot, whips a ball in, and yeah, Maeda 10 yards out. It's a difficult one because it's behind him, and he's just trying to use the pace of the ball. It's an in-swinger to direct it on target, but it goes wide. There's the half-time whistle.
Half-time, Germany lead Japan by a goal to 0. Japan had a goal ruled out for offside in the early stages after 8 minutes. It was Ito with the cross, Maeda a good yard offside, and then Gundogan with a penalty put Germany ahead after 33 minutes, and then Germany had a goal quite rightly ruled out offside for Havertz from close range in first half stoppage time. So, half time here at the Khalifa International Stadium. It's Germany 1, Japan 0. I was ready about 30 odd seconds ago, but I was quite enjoying the look on Chris's face when you took him by surprise talking about the prawn sandwich brigade. But I've got something important to say, is that we've had a substitution, and Tomiyasu of Arsenal has come on, and he has replaced Kubo. So it's a defender for a midfielder. They've gone to
three centre halves,
three centre backs now, haven't they? So Sakai is the right wing back. So Japan playing from left to right, royal blue shirts, white shorts. Gonda is in goal. Sakai now as the right wing back, with Yoshida, Itakura and Tomiyasu as the three central defenders. Yuto Nagatomo is now playing as a left wing back, which then leaves Tanaka, Kamada and Endo in the midfield, with Maeda and Ito as the two up front. Run through the Germany side in a moment, but Germany are on the attack, and the shot coming in is blazed over by Gnabry, right hand side of the penalty area. He went for glory there, so we'll get Chris's thoughts on that after I've given you their starting lineup as they play from right to left, with Neuer in goal, back four of Sula, Rudiger, Schlotterbeck and round the defence, Kimmich and Gundogan, the goal scorer from the penalty spot in the first half, Gnabry, Müller, Musiala and Havertz. Chris?
Yeah, Thomas Müller with a driving run, just popped the ball out right to Gnabry. There's an angle a little bit against him, from 12-14 yards out, blazed the ball well over the bar. The Germans will be thinking, let's get another goal and put this game to bed. I don't know. Oh, the goalkeeper takes a chance there. Gonda for Japan. Change of formation, change of system. I don't know what it is in Japanese for park the bus, but that's what they did in the first half, and they have to show more intent in this second half. They really do. Get support up to Daisen Maeda, who's been very, very isolated.
Germany then lead by a 1-0 in this, the second of 4 games on what is day 4 of the World Cup. Morocco 0, Croatia 0 earlier, Spain, Costa Rica to come, followed by Belgium against Canada, as Japan play the ball back to Gonda, the keeper, who doesn't look at all too comfortable with his feet. He let it run a long way out towards his right hand side before he hoisted it away downfield.
And that's odd in itself. I mean, Daisen Maeda isn't the biggest, Junior Ito isn't the biggest, and the ball launched downfield, and the German centre halves are going to gobble that up all evening, aren't they?
Ball just lifted into the path of Gundogan inside the centre circle, and then Yoshida just steps forward, drills it quite hard and low into the feet of Kamada, and Japan unable to hold onto the ball once again. And just as we had in the first half, as a lot of supporters are still walking up and down the steps, coming back from the gangways, taking their seats, it's that subdued atmosphere once again, with the exception of that band of Japanese supporters detached away from the rather large bulk of blue on that far side. There was somebody who sent a message, it made me laugh, on social media. It was Keith Escott, who said, listening to 5 Live Sport, Chris Sutton and Ian Dennis on the Germany-Japan game, guys, the atmosphere is so bad. I can hear what sounds like a bird song. I tell you what, that could be the next idea for the roommates, Bill and Ben, Chris Sutton and Alistair Bruce Ball, for the 5 Live Football Daily, or the World Daily, World Cup Daily. As the shot comes in on the edge of the area from Kamada, takes a deflection. You could do the birdie song in your matching pyjamas. Couldn't you?
Well, we'll have to get that alcohol licence before we do that. But this Ito actually takes a tumble, he dives inside the box. He's better than that, Ito. It's simulation, World Cup simulation. I'm going to call him out for that, but Japan have a corner. I may be wrong, I don't get this though.
In comes the corner from the far side, headed away by Müller.
They're not the biggest. The Germans have such a height advantage over Japan. They haven't tried to work anything short. The 3 corners I think Japan have had show a bit of invention.
Nagatomo heads it away. Yoshida loses the ball. It breaks towards Gundogan, 25 yards out from goal. Musiala flicks it along the ground towards Raum, level with the penalty area left hand side. Musiala always looking with a real threat. Excellent footwork by Musiala. What a goal this could be, and he couldn't keep it down. He jinked his way in towards the penalty area. He weaved away from the challenge and then right-footed by the penalty spot. He got the conversion. It was over the crossbar. 1-0 Germany goal kick.
Oh, what a goal this would have been. It's almost as if the ball is glued to Musiala's foot. Chops inside at first, goes past 3-4 Japanese defenders and needs to show a bit more composure there. He ballooned the ball well over the bar when he should have scored. 12 yards out, big opportunity, worked the opportunity superbly well for himself.
Germany still leading by a goal to nil, 7 minutes into the second half. Japan certainly don't have happy memories of Qatar. They refer to the tragedy of Doha. That's how many talk about a late 2-1 defeat against Iran, followed by a 2-2 draw with Iraq that cost Japan a place at the World Cup in the 94 version in the United States, and indeed they actually lost to Qatar in the UAE in the Asian Cup final in 2019, and certainly here just haven't really got going. Trailing by a goal to nil.
I don't know what brand of football they're trying to play. They haven't had any real patterns of play to get up the pitch. It's really quite odd. I didn't expect this performance to be this tepid from Japan. No real combination play, and they've got some really good technicians in that midfield. We spoke about Kamada. He played exceptionally well in the Bundesliga this season. Endo's a good player. Tanaka comfortable on the ball, but they haven't been willing to play.
Japan are coming forward now. Kamada forces the ball out to Sakai on this near side, back towards Kamada, side onto goal, crosses the ball out towards the far side, and then it's volleyed out wide and out for a goal kick, and it goes out for a goal kick to Germany.
Yes, it does. They actually work the ball pretty well, edge of the box, and it's a decent cross from Tanaka, but just not able to hook the ball back across the 6-yard box. But are we finally seeing Japan get after the Germans? And Neuer takes a chance. Heavy touch there away from Maidu, put him under pressure. Just a little bit of panic from Neuer.
Well, I wish I'd never read out that tweet about, if you pardon the expression, about the birdie song. That was an unintentional pun, because I've now got the birdie song in my head every time I can hear the person who's whistling. Germany 1, Japan 0. They finished second in their group for qualifying behind Saudi Arabia, but we saw the intensity and the energy of Saudi Arabia against Argentina, offside against Kamada, and that really has been lacking from Japan.
Yeah, look, as I said, in the first half, it's okay. You set up, you have a game plan, but the goal changes everything. Kamada there, really, that's a good line from the German line. Kamada makes his run too early, but maybe we're just seeing the signs of change now. Japan pressing the Germans higher up the pitch, trying to win the ball higher up the pitch, but it runs the risk of the Germans playing through them.
Well, they're coming forward now, and they're looking threatening, and Raum towards Havertz the creep off his line, won't get there. The second attempt, it comes out towards Musiala, tries to roll it in. Referee's blown his whistle. It was a late flag on the far side.
Yeah, Havertz has just made his movement too early, but I don't mind that. Japan pressing the Germans high up the pitch. Well, Havertz was actually onside there. That was a poor decision. The assistant waited and waited. Gonda just gets there before Havertz, but that would have been an opportunity for the Germans.
That's the voice of Chris Sutton on BBC Radio 5 Live. Musiala back to Rudiger in the centre circle, and because of Maeda, it goes all the way back to Manuel Neuer. What is his 7th major final, his 4th at a World Cup. Remember him in 2010, all those years ago back in South Africa, as there's a blow to the head there of Musiala, and that will mean there is a stoppage in play, and Japan are going to make another change. So we've already seen Tomiyasu come on at half-time for Japan, and now we are going to have Mitoma, who's done well for Brighton and Hove Albion. He has had a little bit of illness, that's the reason why he maybe didn't start the game, so he's going to be coming on, and also we're going to be seeing Asano. So these are 2 positive changes that are being made. Nagatomo is the player who's going to be coming off, and Maeda is the other player who's going to be coming off. So Asano will go on in place of Maeda, the Celtic player, and then I would imagine that Brighton's Karu Mitoma will fill in on that left-hand side as a left wing-back. But changes that need to happen to try and produce something, and straight away Asano involved, out towards Ito, right-hand side, a good cross into Asano, throws himself at it, near side of the 6-yard box, heads it out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, lively start from Asano, just pops it out wide, and there's a good early cross in. Asano had made his run beyond the near post, never with the point of the 6-yard box, and couldn't get his head up on target. But this is better from Japan, not letting the Germans have it all their own way, really pressing them high up the pitch, not backing off. Surprised they didn't take this tactic in the first half.
So he has gone over on there, hasn't he? It is like for Mitoma to replace Nagatomo as the left wing back. He's one of Pat Nevin's new favourite players, Mitoma. When he's seen him, in fact before he actually seen him at Brighton, he was on loan at Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium last year. He's a left winger, really has impressed, certainly caught the eye of Pat Nevin. 2 goals in his 11 appearances, just only a couple of Premier League starts though, as he's been eased into life in the Premier League down on the south coast, as Japan are hoping that he can make some sort of impression as they look for an equaliser. And Germany won't be comfortable until they get that insurance of a second goal. Leading 1-0 as we approach the hour mark, and Musiala just about kept the ball in play on this near side, the left corner of the area, has support always from round. His cross headed down by Tomiyasu, can't hold on to the ball, those blue shirts of Japan, and now it is with Kimmich, diagonal ball. Gundogan. Still don't feel though that Germany have been stretched yet in this contest. Certainly Musiala, always a threat, has some support. It's Gundogan, and Gundogan hits the base of the right hand post. Beautiful little layoff by Musiala, and Gundogan so close to getting a second goal and also increasing Germany's lead, but denied by the post.
Yeah, but it's really good build-up play. He drifts superbly, Gundogan. Do you know what he should score? Wonderful touch into his path, and he's just trying to slip the ball inside Gonda's far post, and the ball cannons off the left-hand post and wide. The Germans should be out of sight.
Here is Gundogan once again, midway through the Japan half. He finds Gnabry, tries for the cutback, almost came back to Gnabry, and then it's going to be run out of defence by Mitoma, almost runs himself into some trouble. And then he's played the ball out wide towards that far side, and Tomiyasu looking now towards Mitoma, who's got a bit of space to run into, and all of a sudden it's 3 against 4. Germany do have it's 3 against 3 now, and it's now with Asano, who shoots, and Neuer watches the ball go across his goal and well off target and out for a goal kick.
Never look comfortable. That's a big chance for Japan, and that's all it takes, isn't it? The Germans only 1 up Mitoma pops the ball out left-hand side of the box. It's a decent enough first touch from Asano, but just leans back. Got to work Neuer in that situation. Got to hit the target. Real lack of conviction with that effort.
He too plays his football in Germany for Bochum. Ito, right hand side. Ito's low cross strikes the body of Schlotterbeck. They're just starting to get a little bit of I wouldn't say a foothold, it's a toe in the game maybe for Japan.
Yeah, but this may suit Germany. You know, Hansi Flick happy to go toe to toe. It's the way he managed in Munich. But Japan have to take a risk. They need to get back into the game, and they may feel that they can hurt this German team if the Germans aren't clinical.
Well, Asano has got a little bit of pace. Musiala just caught by Itakura. That'll be a free kick. We haven't had a yellow card in the contest so far, and the Salvadorian referee Ivan Barton will not show one on this occasion. It's just a friendly, gentle talking to the Japanese defender.
So clever, isn't he, Musiala? On that half turn, has that awareness just out of the corner of his eye. You'll sees Itakura coming to try and nick the ball off him in front of him, lets it run across his body, takes it on the back foot, draws the foul.
Certainly look very, very sharp, that is for sure. Here is Gundogan on the halfway line. Nice. Almost coming to a standstill now, Gundogan. So there's no pressure on the ball whatsoever from Japan. They've got every player back behind the ball towards Rudiger. Short diagonal ball to Gundogan, Kimmich, and then played back to Schlotterbeck. And as Chris mentioned, at times it looks like they are playing with three central defenders. That's going to be offside against Havertz.
Terrible run from Havertz. I mean, blimey. Goes so early, just needs to bend his run a little bit more. It's not a natural in that number 9 position. It's a bit of a problem area for the German team. Had some brilliant centre forwards over the years, Ian. The Germans.
Yeah.
More of a big, bulky types, closer. Bierhoff. Maybe what they're lacking.
Yeah, well, the lad who scored on his debut, Niklas Füllkrug, has certainly had an impressive season so far for Werder Bremen. Second half substitute against Oman, scored on his debut.
Yeah, such an important game for the Germans, that, wasn't it?
Don't you start. I've had Kelly sending me messages as well, taking the mickey. Laid off by Itu. Forward ball by Tomiyasu, and Asano won't get there. Rudiger came across and snuffed out the danger. He had been a doubt. He hadn't played up until last Thursday, their own warm-up game for Japan, and since the 10th of September with a right knee problem for Takuma Asano. But the Bochum striker is rapid, and certainly he showed his pace there, but Rudiger was equal to it. Germany still lead by a goal to nil. Here, little touch played out on this right hand side for Sakai, but it's offside. It'll be a free kick to Germany.
Do you think the Germans could get a little bit nervous at 1-0? Do Germans get nervous, Ian?
Well, they're going to freshen things up, I know that for a fact. They're going to make a couple of changes themselves. Goretzka's going to be coming on, and we are also going to be seeing Jonas Hoffmann, who's going to be coming on too. That's right. He will be coming on to the field of play. Can play in defence or midfield, Jonas Hoffmann. It's the German supporters on the far side who are now trying to whip up another Mexican wave. But I've just been so disappointed in Japan. They might still get something from the game. There's 25 minutes remaining. Let's see what happens. Trailing by a goal to nil. Sakai plays it back. Goes to a central area. Matomo. Now with Tanaka. Tomiyasu. Along the ground, Asano turns, shoots, gets a corner kick as well.
Better, yeah, you said about Japan getting a foothold in this game. They're taking the game to Germany. You feel their confidence may just be growing. Need to try and create something clear-cut. I don't get this. They have to play it short. They may score direct from a header, but the Germans are just so much bigger.
Corner kick for Japan, swung over deep, and the header from Itakura at the far side of the penalty area. It was unmarked, and it was headed away by Schlotterbeck.
He pulled him behind Musiala, didn't he? He's hit to beyond the far post, and Musiala not looking at the ball, just looking at Itakura. Itakura tries to go back across, does the right thing, but it was Schlotterbeck slotting that header away.
Well, you talked before about the German centre forwards who've gone before. Miroslav Klose, the famous Gerd Müller, Jürgen Klinsmann. They've scored only more goals than Thomas Müller for Germany at World Cup finals, but Müller unable to add to his tally of 10. So he has come off to be replaced by Jonas Hoffmann. And then the other change is Gundogan, like for like really. Gundogan being replaced by Goretzka of Bayern Munich in the midfield. So two changes made by Germany, and we're midway through the second half here on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And it's still Germany leading through that Gundogan first half penalty. Remember, by the way, as well, when you're watching games on BBC television, I mean, 5 Live and BBC Sounds have every game, but when it's on BBC TV, you can watch and listen with a 5 Live commentary. You just have to look out for the World Cup Extra on the BBC iPlayer. It gives you that option.
Yeah, Goretzka's just slotted in behind Kimmich.
Sakai's header forward, Asano in towards the penalty area, took it first time, tightly marked by Rudiger, comes behind him. Asano has made a difference since he's come onto the field of play. Corner kick to Japan.
He has made a difference, but you've got to say the Japanese have been much better in this second half. They've shown more intent, and Rudiger does really well, but the ball headed from Sakai into Asano, the angle against him. Rudiger stands up and makes the block, but confidence growing.
Daichi Kamada with the corner kick. It's an outswinger right hand side. Itakura was there once again, and it's scooped up by Neuer. Just wouldn't really drop towards the central defender as it's rolled out underarm towards Sula, and he trots forward and still at a walking pace with Kimmich to Schlotterbeck. Still don't feel that Germany have really got out of first gear throughout this game.
No, but as I said before, they'll want that second goal. They've had pretty much control of this game. You can see the Japanese pushing now and really getting after Germany, middle of the park.
2018 was only the second time in Germany's illustrious World Cup history that they had not reached the quarter-finals. 1938 was the other occasion. This is their 20th World Cup appearance, only the second team to reach such a landmark after Brazil. They are serial challengers. Musiala, central position, Kimmich with a chip over, Gnabry with a layoff, good save by the goalkeeper to keep out Hoffmann. Still the German threat remains. Gnabry's shot curling, beaten away by Gonda once more. Musiala now picks it up left hand side. Raum runs forward down towards the byline with the cross in the area. Gonda again with a save from Gnabry, and a second save from Gonda. And Gnabry can't believe it. Great work by Gonda. Golden work by Gonda. Goal kick, corner kick.
Great work by Gonda. Great stuff. 4 saves in quick succession. It's a brilliant ball from Kimmich initially. Gnabry really unselfish, pops the ball back to Hoffman. Gonda down to his left-hand side. Then they recycle the ball. Gonda again down to his right-hand side this time. Ball comes out. Musiala pops it out wide. Raum with the cross in. Powerful header, left-hand side again. Big left hand, and then he body on the line. How crucial could those saves be from Gonda the Great?
I thought you were going to say Gonda the Wonder. Corner kick for Germany. He needs to be alert. Still leading by a goal to nil. Right hand side, over the head of Schlotterbeck, over the head of Rudiger, and out it goes for a throw to Germany on this near side. There is activity on the Japan bench down below. They still have two more opportunities to make further changes, does their coach Moriyasu, as it's with Raum. Back it goes to Schlotterbeck.
I said last night, I mean, I'm sick and tired of the amount of these substitutions. It's really hard work, isn't it, being a co-commentator?
The hard work comes when they then add on about 13 minutes as a result of 3 substitutions. Germany still lead by a goal to nil. We have 18 minutes remaining.
There we go. They're livening up the Japanese team now. Must be a foul from Goretzka. I think there was talk, wasn't there, before the game about Gundogan ended up with the goal past Gonda, but Goretzka, whether it be Goretzka or Gundogan.
Doan came on to replace Tanaka in the midfield, so yet it's another player who plays in Germany, 24-year-old, normally plays on the right for Freiburg, who've actually done well. They were second in the Bundesliga before the World Cup break, so they've made a number of changes now to try and get this equaliser in the second half. Here is Endo, forward, opportunity for Japan, what a save from Neuer, and then it comes out, and I think it might have been, was it Tomiyasu who's put it over the top from close range? What a save from Neuer. The concentration levels must be so great. He's had nothing to do throughout the game. It's a one-handed save, but the loose ball should have been buried.
Oh, it's a brilliant save.
It was Sakai.
Yeah, Sakai, but it's the initial save. It actually takes a deflection off Rudiger's left foot, and then Sakai, I think Asana's in his way, maybe, but Sakai should have buried that, balloons the ball over the bar. That was the chance that Japan needed, and they didn't take it. Can they carve out another opportunity?
You just wonder if there's going to be a dramatic finish here to the Khalifa International Stadium when you think of the heroics, the double save from Suichi Gonda at one end, and then Japan still being in the contest. So this is going to be their final change that they can make for Japan, and it is Minamino, the former Liverpool player, who has come on, and it is Sakai who has gone off. He had been playing as a right wing back. He had that golden chance to get the equaliser, and he will be ruining that missed opportunity. He's been consoled as he makes his way to the bench. What if Hiroki Sakai had scored from close range there? So Ito, who temporarily moved to the left, is back to the right, tried to play in Doan, blocked, and all of a sudden now Japan are starting to have a few options as an attacking team. Matoma, left hand side, runs forward, edge of the area, Minamino is there, good save, loose ball, tucked in. Japan have got the equaliser. It's the substitute Doan, and there is the twist in the tail with 15 minutes remaining. It's the substitutes who've combined, and Ritsu Doan, who plays in football in Germany, has equalised against Germany. 1-1.
And what have we learned in the last few minutes? Japan can play, brave on the ball, becoming desperate the longer the game has gone on, taking risks, Played the way beautifully up the pitch, worked it down the left-hand side brilliantly. From Neuer, makes a decent save initially with his left hand, but with the save he pushes it out into an area, and Doan is so alert. He can't really miss, but he's proactive. Falls for him 6-7 yards out, just lifts the ball into the roof of the net. Japan level, Japan back in it. Japan can play.
Well, certainly Moriyasu, the coach, has been vindicated with the changes that he's made. All three substitutes, or three of the substitutes involved. Matoma of Brighton, Minamino's shot was then pushed out by Neuer, and then Ritsu Doan with the equalising goal. And here in the Khalifa International Stadium in the opening game in Group E, Germany have been pegged back by Japan. We saw how they gave Belgium a scare at the last World Cup. On that occasion, it was Japan who squandered a 2-goal lead and Belgium fought back. On this occasion, it's Japan who've shown the resilience and the character to get themselves back on level terms.
And you go back to those saves, those 4 saves from Gonda in quick succession. But isn't it amazing now, the urgency with which Japan are playing, the intensity which they're playing? But can the Germans respond and get themselves back in front?
Gnabry to Kimmich. Dispossessed by Matoma, who'll run forward over on that far side. And Matoma is over the halfway line for Japan. He's got some support going through the middle with Asano. The ball, though, he'll hang on to it on that left-hand side. Germany, who hit that post through Gundogan on the hour mark. That was a chance for the insurance goal. They were unable to take it. As now Doan lifts the ball forward towards Minamino on that far side. Matoma. They're waiting to make a double change. Our Germany Götze is going to be coming on. All of a sudden it's Minamino into the penalty area once again and out for a goal kick.
Tell you what, they're rattled, aren't they, the Germans? They really are. Japan got that confidence, popping the ball about, and they look the more likely team.
Well, this is a little bit of a fairy tale for Mario Götze. Scored the winning goal at the World Cup in 2010, making his return after 5 years. So Mario Götze back involved on the World Cup stage. He probably didn't think that was likely to happen. And Nicholas Füllkrug, who's a little bit of a throwback, isn't he, in terms of a burly centre forward of Werder Bremen, comes on. So Füllkrug replaces Havertz, and Götze has come on for Musiala, who was unable, for all the promise that he's shown, to get a goal. Gnabry's now playing on the left-hand side, and here is Gnabry, and we've got just over 10 minutes remaining, and Germany now have got a corner kick.
Yeah, if you were to pick a winner now, Ian, who would you pick? Come on.
I would say it's going to finish 1-1.
That's a massive fence it there, doesn't it? Who has the momentum? Japan have the momentum, but Germany have a corner.
It's Kimmich to take it. Kimmich with the corner kick on the left-hand side over the head. Should just say, of course, it was Götze who scored the winning goal in the 2014 World Cup final. He was 18 years of age when he was selected for the World Cup in 2010. But it still caps a remarkable return for him, doesn't it? Now he's playing with Eintracht Frankfurt.
Absolutely does, and can he find the finishing touch for the Germans this evening? Good group this, isn't it? It really is. This was the one I was fascinated with and slightly worried. I actually predicted a Japan win against Germany. Didn't show any real quality in the first half, but showing the quality now.
What a ball that is, forward through towards Ito. It was played out from the back by Itakura, and Neuer had to be alert. 9 minutes remain of normal time. Bearing in mind we had 4 minutes of stoppage time in the first half when there was no substitutions, and we've had we've had at least 7 in the second half, not including the Tomiyasu one at half time. We could have about 10 minutes of added on time. It's anybody's guess. 1-1.
It was a really good piece of combination play down that right hand side. The enormous Sula and Hoffman, clever little 1-2. Hoffman in shape to hit a cross in. He's gone behind for a corner to Germany. Fancy them from set plays, Ian, the Germans.
Füllkrug is there, Schlotterbeck up from the back, Rudiger also. Füllkrug makes a run towards the near side of the 6-yard post. Germany in their white shirts, or predominantly white shirts and black shorts. Corner kick far side the right, in it goes, headed out by Ito, headed further away by Asano on the edge of the area. Sula heads it out wide to this near side for Raum, who plays it down the line. Goetze lets it come across his body, and it'll go out for a Germany throw that Raum, level with the area, wants to take. 1-1 on BBC Radio 5 Live, and also available on BBC Sounds. As there was a challenge from Schlotterbeck, and that was on Endo, and it goes out of play for a throw to Japan.
Yeah, and just another lull within the stadium now. Maybe a lull before the final surge from both teams.
But the lull doesn't do justice to the finish that we have got.
No.
1-1 and chances at both ends. The atmosphere doesn't do the finish justice. Oh. Lovely touch by Asano. Enter the penalty area. Asano! What a finish! Oh my word! What a sting in the tail! But what a touch! High ball downfield. Asano killed it dead right-footed, and then rifled the ball past Neuer. And Germany now are facing back-to-back defeats in a World Cup for the first time since 78 and 82. They were humiliated in Russia, and now they face embarrassment by losing another game in the opening match here in Doha. But what a touch, what a finish, what a story.
Yeah, what dreadful defending from the Germans. I'm not so sure it was a free kick. Anyway, it's just one ball, which does for the Germans. Asano gets the wrong side of Schlotterbeck, drives into the box, and then lifts the ball into the roof of the angle against him. Neuer nowhere. What a comeback. They parked the bus in the first half, the handbrake off in the second half, and Japan in front.
He looks onside. They are looking, I think, for an offside, but I think he was played on. But it was the high ball.
What a touch. What a first touch. Unbelievable first touch. Takes him on the inside of Schlotterbeck. Has a little look. He's still got a lot to do. Neuer makes himself big, but Asano into the roof of the net. Stunning finish.
Well. They finished behind Saudi Arabia in their qualifying group, but the Asian sides are producing the shocks. Saudi Arabia yesterday, Japan today, both coming from behind. It wasn't a key feature at all. It didn't happen in the last Euros last year. Teams didn't come from behind to win games in the group stages. Germany now looking for a riposte. And it comes in, free kick, touch out, goes for a corner.
Great ball in from Raum. Whizzed in. Bit of urgency now from the Germans. Kimmich going over to take the corner. I don't know whether it did come off a Japanese head. The Japanese claiming it was a goal kick.
This is the third team that has come from behind. The previous two have won as a cross comes in on that far side with the corner kick. Challenge on the edge of the area. Goetze was there, hammered away by Yoshida.
It's anywhere will do now.
We saw it yesterday. Saudi Arabia come from behind to beat Argentina. France came from behind to beat Australia.
But when you saw the Japanese display in the first half, I mean, it's incredible. We don't want to
night and day.
use it yet. Game of two halves, but I've seen enough. I mean, up at Celtic, Hatate, Kyogo, good technical players, and you're thinking, you know, if they can't get in this squad, they must have some players we know, the likes of Kamada, are super talented, but they've just shown a bit of belief, got on the ball, played, and cut through the Germans easily in this second half.
They lulled Germany into a false sense of security. Although, to be fair to Germany, Gundogan had the chance. You think back to that excellent double save from Gonda, but then we did say, we wondered if there might be a change even then, when they were just starting to get going. But the changes have been perfect from Moriyasu.
And maybe it was the perfect plan from Moriyasu. This is how he saw it working out. Change of formation at half time. They have been better, they've grown in belief. And what have you got, Germany?
Germany unable to break off from the shackles of that embarrassment in Russia 4 years ago. And in a difficult group, they would then be under real pressure with games to come against Spain on Sunday and then Costa Rica next Thursday, the 1st of December. Germany, who are always there or thereabouts when it comes to the last knockings of a World Cup. For every decade, Germany have been in the top three at a World Cup. The 30s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000 and 2010. But at the start of 2020, they were leading by a goal to nil, and now they are trailing by 2 goals to 1.
You're just seeing the Asana goal again. It was Süle on the far side, the German right back who was playing him on. Clever run, but one long ball, the German line not good enough. What a moment.
He's made such a difference. Goes down under the challenge of a penalty there. It was Asana who laid it off into the path of Doan, who got the equaliser, and Doan went down. There are boos and whistles inside the Khalifa Stadium. They think that should have been a penalty.
I think my first impression was simulation from Doan.
It'll be being checked. Moriyasu in his dark suit is walking down the touchline.
Here we go.
Plays back underway. It has been checked and it must have been dismissed. 2-1 to Japan.
He's better than that, Doan is. Don't do it, Doan.
Germany looking for an equaliser in the closing stages. Kimmich to Rudiger. Every outfield player in the Japan half, as Germany play from right to left. Japan defending deep. Hoffman touched it to Süle, the right back. Inside now towards Kimmich. Süle won't get too further forward, I wouldn't have thought, with the...
But they actually don't look like they're good enough at this moment in time to play through the Japanese. They look shell-shocked, don't they?
Well, the one player who did was Musiala, who's come off the field of play.
As Hansi Flick messed up with his substitutions.
Youssef Moukoko is coming on now, the Borussia Dortmund player, and he has replaced Gnabry. So the
Fulkrug with an opportunity from the cross with a header. That's a difficult header. He's 13-14 yards out and heads the ball level with the penalty spot, heads the ball past Gonda's left hand post.
I know you dismissed the Oman warm-up game last week, but Moukoko certainly wouldn't dismiss it, because he actually became the youngest player to make his Germany debut since Uwe Seeler back in 1954 when he appeared against Oman last week. And the amount of stoppage time isn't as great as I was expecting. 7 minutes, which we're now into. 7 minutes of stoppage time of Germany 1, Japan 2, live on 5 Live. and BBC Sounds, and the nature of BBC Sounds, you can rewind it. So if you've missed that Japan goal, then if you want to listen to Chris Sutton laughing again at the German demise, then do so once again. Disrespectful, I know, but listen back to it through BBC Sounds.
You're better than that, Ian.
Here is Kimmich.
My wife's part German. Come on, you're better than that.
Germany will hope that they're better than that as they try and get themselves back on level terms.
You said that they had an advantage because of that game, that friendly game against Oman, who are ranked 75th in the world.
Hoffman out towards Sula. Hoffman can't get past Matoma. Far side, the right. Germany get a throw level with the penalty area. The first minute of 7 has elapsed.
I think there's a
Tomiyasu is down,
and this won't be cramp.
He has had a calf issue, but I think by my calculations they have used all of their substitutions, because obviously Tomiyasu came on at the start of the second half. They then had the two, Asano and Matoma.
But that's a good shout, actually, Ian, but he's just got to hang on in there. If it is a calf injury, then I'm not a medical expert, but he's unlikely. If it was a tear or whatever, he's unlikely to play again in this tournament. So better off seeing this through, winning the game, and worrying about that after.
Plenty of support for Japan. That was a loose ball at the back from Sula, seized upon by Asano, who waits for the supporting run of Doan on this near right hand side, level with the German penalty area, plays it on the inside. Endo tried to thread it through to Minamino. Germany get it out of their defence. Hoffman, but whilst Japan's substitutions have worked to a positive effect, Germany just seem to have lost a lot of their rhythm since their substitutions have been made. They now go long, up towards Fulkrug, heads it on. Mukoku picks it up on this near left-hand side, delivers a low ball in. It might fall here to Goretzka.
They won a penalty, the Germans.
Matoma took it off the toes of Goretzka, who was trying to shape to shoot.
Fulkrug asking for a penalty. Wonder whether they're checking this.
Yoshida is having a word with the Salvadorian referee.
Let's have a look. Well, I don't think they can give that. It's Yoshida and Fulkrug, shoulder to shoulder. I'd be really surprised if this is given.
Play back underway. Didn't really have too much of a look at that. 3.5 minutes of the 7 to go. Japan still lead by 2-1. Raum, such a threat in the second half.
Ito doing his job there, stop the cross. The Germans got some big guys in there.
Throw that Raum will go back to Schlotterbeck. Neuer is up in the centre circle, incidentally. Rudiger, he's going to shoot from distance, and he's pulled it well wide.
It's a goal kick. Ridiculous from Rudiger. Tries to ping that in from 30 yards. Now, Gonda, what a game he's had. He did give away the penalty, but those saves, succession of 4 saves. It'll be Gonda the Great back in Japan.
We have under 3 minutes remaining. Gonda, the player who Chris Sutton's just been talking about, downfield, out it goes for a Germany throw. Spain, Costa Rica, Belgium, Canada to come. But this will be the story on day 4 of the World Cup, you would think. Germany go long, Fulkrug attacks it. First time hit, just wide. Running onto it was Goretzka, right-footed. Struck it on the half volley, but it must have been half a yard wide of the left-hand post.
Yeah, it's a straight ball into Fulkrug. This is his game, this is what he's good at. He just peels away from the centre half. Little knockdown, Goretzka onto it. He's unlucky on the half volley, laces the ball, is not far away. Gonda taking his time. It's nearly it. Long ball up the pitch.
78, they lost to Austria in Argentina. They opened up the World Cup in 82 where they lost to Algeria. That was the last time that Germany lost back-to-back matches in the World Cup.
Oh, Neuer's out of his goal again.
Neuer out of his penalty area this time to try and prevent Asano from getting there. He feeds it forward to Schlotterbeck, launches the ball long. Hoffmann jumps in the air, right corner of the penalty area, and it runs out of play. It's a Japan throw.
Yeah, and Rudiger has gone up as a centre forward. The Germans have gone Wimbledon style, just launching it into the box. What a victory this would be for Japan if they can hold on.
What a victory it is for the continent of Asia as well. For Saudi Arabia yesterday to trump Argentina from coming from behind.
I don't think that's a foul. Rudiger goes down easily. Neuer's gone forward. What happens next?
We know what happens next. History could be repeating itself. It's a free kick to Germany. We have 30 seconds remaining of stoppage time. Neuer is up from the back. Japan have every blue shirt back inside the penalty area. Japan have come from behind. They lead by 2-1. Now or never, you would think, for Die Mannschaft. They have the free kick on the right-hand side. Minamino just one in the wall. Neuer currently unmarked, adjusting his socks, his yellow socks, all in yellow. Stands out quite brightly as we look towards the penalty area. By my watch, the 7 minutes are over. This might be it for Germany to try and salvage something. In it comes now from the free kick. Neuer throws himself at it, comes out towards Sula.
He's going to stay up. He was inches away from heading that in, Neuer.
Last touch of a Japanese defender. Sula wins the corner. Neuer couldn't get on the end of it. There's a player down, might be two players down inside the 6-yard box.
Well, he's not far away, is he? Was it Yoshida who just gets a touch? Neuer would have been in. The Japanese bench celebrate. They've still got work to do.
Of the minimum of 7, we're now 8 minutes in of injury time. Germany looking for a dramatic equaliser. Kimmich with a corner, in-swinger, punched out by Gonda. Hoffmann almost on the halfway line, plays it out towards the right-hand side. Neuer is now going back towards the penalty area. Germany get a throw, but the Salvadorian referee blows his whistle. Japan celebrates. And Germany, if you think back to 2018, that was their first opening game defeat since 1982, and they have now suffered back-to-back losses at the start of 2 successive World Cups. They were leading, they hit the post, they couldn't get the second goal. Gonda was great in the Japan defence, and then came the substitutes with 2 goals in the space of 8 minutes to give Japan a famous win, 2-1.
What a strange World Cup. What a strange game, a game of 2 halves. Japan not in it in the first half. Germany get in front, you think second half they're controlling it, should have been game over. You're right about the Gonda saves. And then all of a sudden Japan get the confidence, they show they can play. Doan, good substitution, pops up with a goal, and then Asano, brilliant goal, brilliant finish, lifts the ball into the roof of the net pass. Neuer, and then the Germans got desperate. I thought Hansi Flick's substitutions were pretty woeful, really. They went direct at the end, but Japan held out. And this group, I said before the game, really interesting group. Spain, Germany, Costa Rica and Japan. And Japan have made their mark now, and the Germans have work to do.
Flick's first major tournament ends in failure. Japan, they're all smiles down below. What a scoreline, what a story. It's finished Germany 1, Japan 2.